When I was just a lad of 10, my father said to me, "Come here and take a lesson from the lovely lemon tree."
Don't put your faith in love, my boy, my father said to me. I fear you'll find that love is like the lovely lemon tree.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. One day beneath the lemon tree, my love and I did lie. A girl so sweet that when she smiled, the stars rose in the sky. We passed that summer lost in love beneath the lemon tree.
The music of her laughter hid my father's words from me.
Do you remember this song? It was written by Will Holt in the late 1950s. It was the first song by Peter, Paul, and Mary to reach the U.S. Top 100 hit chart, reaching number 35. It was also recorded by a number of other artists, including Trini Lopez, Kingston Trio, Chad and Jeremy, The Seekers, Herb Albert, Jim Neighbors, Ed Ames, and probably a few others. I like the song, but it has some bad advice. I think you should put your trust in love. Oh, and lemons aren't impossible to eat. I would really enjoy a lemon meringue pie right about now. If I was to give Sorrento a moniker, it would be City of Lemons. Lemons were everywhere, on the trees, for sale by vendors, on clothes, shoes, and all kinds of artwork. Oh, and how about the size of those lemons? The rinds were about 3 inches thick. The first time I saw Sorrento in 1967, I thought it was about the most beautiful place other than the Alps I had ever seen. I especially loved the turquoise sea, but without the sun, the sea wasn't nearly as beautiful. I've been to a lot of places since then, and I don't rank it that high, but I do love it. It's warm, beautiful, the people are super friendly, and the restaurants are great. We only spent 3 nights there, about 1 day in Sorrento and 1 day in nearby Pompeii. We stayed at a wonderful B&B, and the hostess treated us like her own children home for a visit. We're listening to Dean Martin sing Come Back to a Sorrento. I bet you didn't know he could sing it in Italian.
Guarda il mare com'è bello, spiritando e sentimento, come il tuo save accendo, che mi disto fa sognare, sente come lì va stare. Ti aggiri d'arance, fondo fiume non val guai.
Sophia Loren was at this spot in 1955 to film the movie Scandal in Sorrento. She was actually in the city a lot, as it was one of her favorite vacation spots. She grew up in the nearby town of Pozzalli. There was a special Sophie Loren art exhibit when we were there at an art gallery, which had only pictures of Sophie Loren on the bottom floor. Sorrento is located on a peninsula on the west coast of Italy, about 31 miles south of Naples and 17 miles south of Pompeii. From the peninsula, you can see Naples, Mount Vesuvius, and Capri. The city had its origin around 600 BC. It has a population of about 16,500 people.
All that once you loved forsaking, and I felt my heart was breaking. Oh, how could you go away? Ma non mi fuggi, non lasciarmi più.
following is a brief description of what happened to the city of Pompeii on August 24th, 79 AD, when Mount Vesuvius erupted.
The Roman city of Pompeii, 1st century AD. An affluent, vibrant and progressive hub near Naples, with Mount Vesuvius towering over the city. Inactive for centuries, the people of Pompeii had no fear of the great volcano. But deep inside Vesuvius, molten rock had been leaking from the Earth's crust. A thick plug of rock in the volcano blocked its exit, and explosive pressure slowly grew inside. On the morning of August 24th, 79 AD, Pompeii was about to meet its fate. The volcano finally erupted, sending molten rock 15 kilometers into the sky. The day turned black as the hot rock mixed with the air over Pompeii, blocking the sun, cooling and falling on the city as pumice rock, ash and rain. 4 billion tons of material would fall on Pompeii within 24 hours. Ash and magma collided in the air, triggering volcanic lightning. As the eruption continued, the magma chamber eventually emptied and collapsed. The first pyroclastic surge towards Pompeii begins. These are ground-hugging avalanches of hot ash, pumice, and volcanic gas that rush towards Pompeii at 100 kilometers per hour. The first surge falls just short of the city, but asphyxiation from toxic gas and ash killed many. 16 hours after the first eruption, the volcano column completely gave way. Pyroclastic waves smashed through houses, leaving victims instantaneously encased in blankets of ash and pumice. The city and its people were frozen in time. Mount Vesuvius buried Pompeii in 25 meters of volcanic rock and ash. Pompeii was rediscovered by accident over 1,500 years later, in 1594. The buildings and its people having been encased in ash and preserved in time.
Just to summarize and add a few more details, Mount Vesuvius had stood dormant for many centuries before it erupted on August 24th, 79 AD. When it erupted, on that day, it completely buried several villages and cities, including Herculaneum, Stabia, Pontus, and Torre Annunziata. Estimates of how many people were killed vary greatly, between 1,500 to 16,000. Pompeii was buried 19 to 24 feet in volcanic ash and stone for over 1,500 years until it was discovered in 1594. Some excavations began in 1738, but it was haphazard, mostly by treasure seekers. Systematic excavation began somewhat in 1860. The city was divided into 9 regions and buildings were numbered as they were uncovered. Extensive excavation did not begin until 1951. Welcome to Venice. Venice has a long history. Founded over 1,300 years ago in 697, it was a sovereign state for 1,100 years until Napoleon defeated it and took it over in 1797. In 1866, it became part of Italy. Venice has a population of over 250,000, located on 118 islands in the middle of the Venetian lagoon. Tourism is the city's main source of income, with about 16 million tourists a year, including about 5 million foreign tourists. They spend over $230 billion a year, or about 85% of the DNP. There are several things that Venice is well known for. To name a few of them: canals. Over 150 canals serve as the city streets. Gondolas. Gondolas are the standard means of transportation and have been in use for over 1,000 years. Gondoliers have over 400 hours of training and must pass a test before becoming a gondolier. Bridges, especially the Rialto Bridge, built in the 1700s, but there are 434 other bridges. Glass blowing. There are several sites to view this amazing art and several stores that sell their merchandise. Marco Polo, quite possibly the world's first well-known traveler, lived in Venice. This was my third trip to this enchanting city. I was here in 1967, 2000, and now in 2024. Not much has changed in the city in those 57 years. There is no room for expansion, and who wants to tear down these historic buildings and replace them with new ones? However, the dilapidated hotel we stayed in this time could use some repairs. While we were in Venice, we had a treat. The North Carolina State University had their last concert on their Italian tour in Venice. We will finish with a very short selection of this great choir from our home state, North Carolina.